Hello friends, today's topic is the contamination, preservation and spoilage of eggs. So today we are going to see about the different sources of contamination of eggs, different preservation techniques using and also the microbial spoilage of the eggs. So let's start with the composition of an egg. The structural components of the egg include the shell and the shell membranes which constitute about 10%, the albumin about 60% including the thick albumin, the outer thin albumin, the inner thin albumin and the chelae and the egg yolk which constitute about the 30%. So coming to the composition of an egg, it includes the shell and shell membrane about 10%, albumin 60% and egg yolk which constitute about the 30%. In a fertilized egg, the yolk supplies the nutrients and the albumin supplies the water necessary for the development of the embryo. So in the case of a fertilized egg, the yolk will supply nutrients and the albumin supply the water which is necessary for the growth and the development of the embryo. The layers of the albumin which act as a cushion to protect the embryo from the movements and while the chelae help to maintain the orientation of the embryo within the egg. So in the case of a fertilized egg, the yolk will supply nutrients, the albumin supply water necessary for the development of the embryo. At the same time, the layers of the albumin will act as a cushion in order to protect the embryo from the movements and the chelae will help to maintain the orientation of the embryo within the egg. So this is the structure of the egg which contains shell, yolk, albumin and the membrane. The yolk including the germinal disc, latibra, light colored yolk, dark colored yolk and the yolk membrane. Albumin containing chalaza, chalaziferous layer, thick egg white and the thin egg white, membrane containing air cell, inner shell membrane and the outer shell membrane. In the case of shell with mammillary layer, spongy layer, pores and the cuticle. Then our topic is the contamination, preservation and the spoilage of the egg. So coming to the contamination of egg, mostly the freshly laid eggs are sterile inside, but the shells soon after the laying will become contaminated by different sources like the fecal matter from the hen, by the cage or the nest, so the dust or the dirt from the cage or the nest, by washing water if the eggs are washed, and also by the different handling and by the material in which the eggs are packed. So mostly the freshly laid eggs are sterile inside, but the shells will soon become contaminated from sources like fecal matter from the hen, cage or the nest, water used for washing the eggs, by the different handling and by the material in which the eggs are packed. The total number of microorganisms per shell of a hen's egg ranges from 102 to 107 with a mean of about 105. And the types of microorganisms which are recovered from the shell are usually diverse groups. And the poultry may carry bacteria like salmonella which can contaminate the inside of the eggs before the shells are formed. So sometimes the salmonella contamination will occur before the shells are formed and the eggshells will may become contaminated with the salmonella from the poultry droppings or the area where they are laid. Then coming the route of entry of the microorganism to the egg, the fertile eggs will be get deteriorated more rapidly than the infertile eggs and the deterioration take place as by either physical and chemical change and the egg white will become less viscous and will start to spread rapidly and also there will be the loss of water, protein breakdown and the flavor of the egg will deteriorate and there will be bacterial decomposition of the egg. So the route of entry of the microorganisms in the case of fertile egg, they will be get more easily or rapidly deteriorated than the infertile eggs, and usually the deterioration takes place by the physical or the chemical change, and during deterioration the egg white will becomes less viscous and will start to spread rapidly, and there will be loss of water, protein breakdown, flavor deterioration, and also bacterial decomposition. Then coming to the different preservation techniques used for egg, the method for the preservation of egg are very important because they are easily perishable, and egg has various ways of protecting itself from the microbial invasion. So by nature itself, egg has various methods or various ways for protecting themselves from the microbial contamination. First one is that the shell and the thin surface layer of the proteinaceous material, which is known as the cuticle or the bloom, are the first line of defense and will serve to retard the entry of the microorganisms. Secondly, the membranes inside the shell also tend to serve as a mechanical barrier for the microbial contamination, and also the albumin is an inadequate growth medium for many of the microorganisms. So coming to the preservation techniques for egg, the preservation of egg or the preservative methods for egg is very important because they are easily perishable food, and by nature itself egg has some ways for protecting them from the microbial contamination. That is, first one is that the shell and the thin surface layer of the proteinaceous material, which is known as a cuticle or bloom, will act as first line of defense or protection from the entrance or the contamination by the microorganisms. Secondly, the membranes inside the shell will also tend to serve as a mechanical barrier, and besides this, the albumin will act as an inadequate growth medium for the growth of microorganisms. So, the albumin will not favor the growth and the survival of the microorganisms. The characteristics of the albumin which make them unfavorable medium for the microorganisms or which will hinder the microbial growth. The first one is that the pH is about 9 to 10. So most of the microbes or bacteria cannot survive in this pH range, and also they contains only low levels of the simple nitrogenous compounds, and some aproproteins present will tie up the riboflavin, and also avidin will also tie up the biotin, and some anti-proteolytic factors are present which will prevent the bacterial proteinases from releasing their required nitrogenous compounds for their growth, and also the canalbumin will start to chelate the iron, since there will be iron deficiency for the growth of the microorganisms, and some lysozymes will degrade the cell wall of the gram-positive bacteria. So the different characteristic that makes the albumin an unfavorable medium for the microbial growth. First one is its pH. Its normal pH range is between 9 to 10, which is not favorable for the growth of the most of the microorganisms. And also besides this, they contains only low level of the nitrogenous compounds, and the upper proteins will tie up the riboflavins, and hence they are not available for the microorganisms, and also the avidin will tie up the biotins, and some anti-proteolytic factors which will prevent bacterial proteinases from the release of the required nitrogenous compounds for their growth, and the albumin will chelate iron, hence there will be iron scarcity for the growth of microorganisms. Besides this, the lysozymes which will degrade the cell wall of most of the gram-positive bacteria. So all these characters make the albumin insufficient or unsuitable media for the growth and survival of the microorganisms. Then coming to the artificial method or the methods we are adopting for the preservation of egg. First one is the asepsis. Asepsis is the simplest preservation technique for all the food items. It is simply the methods we are following in order to keep away the microorganisms from the food. And the great care should be taken in order to reduce the contamination of the shell by hen feces and also dirt from the nest. And when the eggs are broken for drying or freezing, care should be taken in order to discard those in which the microbial growth has taken place. We have to properly dispose or decontaminate the contaminated eggs. And also to reduce contamination from the equipments, we have to follow proper cleaning and sanitation methods. And the second one is the removal of the microorganisms. Dry cleaning methods will help to remove dirt and also the blooms, and the washing with warm plain water will help to remove the dirt, bloom, and some part of the microbial contaminants also. And the cleaning the machines and by the disinfections with 1% hypochlorite solution will help to reduce the percentage of the rods or contamination in the eggs, and also the use of 1 to 3% acetic acid is also an effective in removing the microorganisms from the egg. Acids, formalin, hypochlorites, quaternary ammonium compounds, various various types of detergents, and the detergent sanitizer combinations can also be used in the washing solution in order to remove the microorganisms. And these solutions are usually used at a temperature range between 32.2 to 60 degrees Celsius, and depending on the chemicals we are using. And the next method is the use of heat. The rotting or the contamination is mainly controlled by heating at the 60 degrees Celsius for 320 seconds, and the heating in water is usually superior to heating in oil. And the different treatments used in the poultry for the preservation of egg is the first one is a heating shell egg in oil for about 10 minutes at 60 degrees Celsius, or heating in water for about 30 minutes at 54.4 degrees Celsius. Secondly, heating of egg contents at 61.7 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. The third one is the immersion of the eggshells in boiling water for a few seconds, or in hot oil at 57.2 degrees Celsius with or without vacuum. Fourth one, the immersion of egg in a hot detergent sanitizer solution at a 43.3 to 54.4 degrees Celsius, and the sanitizers used are a quaternary ammonium compound. So the third method is the use of heat, and the rerouting can be controlled by heating at 60 degrees Celsius for about 320 seconds. So this is a basic method followed in order to prevent the rotting of the egg. So by heating at 60 degrees Celsius for 320 seconds, we can prevent the rotting of egg. And the heating in this water is usually superior over the heating in oil. And the different treatment methods, so the different treatment procedures following in the poultry for egg is, first one is heating the eggshells in oil for about 10 minutes at 60 degrees Celsius, or by heating in water for about 30 minutes at 54.4 degrees Celsius. Second method is the heating of a condense only at a 61.7 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. Immersion of the eggshells in boiling water for a few seconds, or in hot oil at 57.2 degrees Celsius with or without vacuum. Fourth one is the immersion of egg in a hot detergent sanitizer solutions at a 43.3 to 54.4 degrees Celsius, and the sanitizer used is a quaternary ammonium compound. A thermostabilization method of dipping egg into hot water will help to reduce the evaporation of the moisture from the egg. So before this heating, a thermostabilization method of dipping egg into hot water will help to reduce the evaporation of the moisture from the egg. The pasteurization is usually required for most egg products. In the case of egg products, we are following pasteurization. One exception is the salt yolk, which is used in the salad dressing. So the egg products which are used in the salad dressings, we are not pasteurizing, and this product is exempt if it contains at least a 1.4% acetic acid, that is a pH below 4.1 or lower. And because of the heat coagulability of the egg, a stabilization process is required before pasteurization. So because of the heat coagulability, or there is chance of coagulation of the egg under high heat, and hence we require a stabilization process before the pasteurization. And it mainly include addition of some aluminum salts and the adjustment of the pH. Hence pre-treatment must be followed before the pasteurization procedure, and this pre-treatment includes addition of the aluminum salts and also the adjustment of the pH. The fourth one is the use of low temperature. It includes, first one is the chilling. Most shell eggs are preserved by the chilling method. So mostly the shell eggs are preserved by the low temperature method, that is by the chilling, and they are selected for storage on the basis of the general appearance and also the results of candling, and the egg should be cooled as promptly as practicable after the production. So the chilling must be followed as early as possible and held at a temperature and relative humidity that will depend on the anticipated time of storage, and the higher the relative humidity, the more will be the microbial spoilage of the egg. For commercial storage for about 6 months or longer, a temperature of -1.7 to -0.55 degrees Celsius and a relative humidity of 70 to 80% are usually used, and the air circulation in the storage room is very important to maintain the desired relative humidity around the egg, and also a constant storage temperature is essential to avoid the condensation of the moisture on the eggshells. Usually the special treatments given to egg can help to improve their keeping quality during the chilling, storage, and impregnation of the eggshell with the colorless and odorless mineral oil is a common method that will help to keep out the moisture, slows desiccation and air penetration, help to retain carbon dioxide and retards the physical and the chemical changes within the egg. And the eggs are usually sprayed lightly with oil, particularly egg to be stored commercially for the longer period. And the second low temperature method is the freezing. The egg first are selected by the candling, then they are usually washed mechanically with a final rinse in about 200 to 500 ppm chlorine or iodine solution, and then they are broken on the automatic breaking machines, and the egg meats whole or separated are usually filtered in order to remove the pieces of shell and also stringy materials which are present, and then they are mixed or churned, standardized to solid contents and frozen in 30 or 50 lb tin cans or other containers, and by some sharp freezing processes, and the yolk frozen separately and stored frozen form will form a jelly which does not become fluid during the thawing process, and the frozen eggs are usually stored at a minus 17.8 to minus 20.5 degrees Celsius. And the second low temperature method is the freezing. Here, usually the egg contents are stored between minus 17.8 to minus 20.5 degrees Celsius. And the fifth one is the preservation by the drying. And most of the drying of the egg will utilize a spray dryer where the liquid is sprayed into a current of dry or a heated air. Another method is the roller or drum process, in which the liquid egg is usually passed over a heated drum with or without vacuum. And the air drying is usually accomplished by means of open pans where the egg liquid is on a belt that will pass through heated tunnel at 60 to 71.1 degrees Celsius, and the spray drying or pan drying combined with the tunnel drying is mainly used for the egg white, and the eggs were dried to a moisture of about 5%, but the keeping quality of the dried white or all egg is usually improved as the moisture content is decreased towards the 1%. Another important method is the preservation by drying, and different dryers can be used for the drying of the egg. And the next one is the use of different preservatives. Preservatives are usually used on the shells of egg or in the atmosphere around them, or used in the racks or containers used for the eggs. And the different substances that have been applied to the surface of the shell of eggs or used as a packaging material about the eggs to aid in their preservation. And some of these substances are used primarily to keep the shell dry and also to reduce the penetration of the oxygen into the egg, and for the passage of the carbon dioxide and moisture out. Waxing, oiling the shells and the sealing are the examples of such methods, and other materials will inhibit the growth of microorganisms, and some are germicidal. So the another important preservation technique is by the use of preservatives, and these preservatives can be used either on the shell of the egg or in the atmosphere around them, or used in the wraps or containers used for the eggs. And the different substances applied to the surface of the shell of the eggs or used in the packaging material help to aid in their preservation, and some of the substances are used primarily to keep the shell dry and also reduce the penetration of the shell, and some materials will help to inhibit the growth of microorganisms, and some are even germicidal. The materials used for the dry packaging of the egg at the home will usually include salt, lime, sand, and ashes. And the immersion in sodium silicate solution is a successful home method of preservation. And the solution is inhibitory because of its high alkalinity, and other inhibitory chemicals are borates, permanganate, benzoates, etc. And the utilization of warm or hot solutions, hypochlorite acids, formalins, quaternary ammonium compounds, etc., are also used. And sealing the shell with a solution of the dimethyl urea will help to inhibit the mold growth. So the artificially used preservatives are borates, permanganate, benzoates, etc. And in the case of home, we can preserve it by placing in salt, lime, sand, ashes, etc. And immersion in solution of sodium silicate is also used. And as sealing the shell with solution of dimethyl urea will help to inhibit the mold growth. In order to reduce the spoilage of egg by molds during the storage and by the treatment of storage gases with some microstatic or the mold inhibiting chemicals are also used, and the sodium pentachlorophenate and related compounds are mainly used to prevent the fungal growth, and the fumigation of egg with a gaseous ethylene oxide before the storage will help to protect them against bacterial spoilage. Next is the use of irradiation. Pathogens like salmonella in liquid, frozen and dried eggs can be inactivated by use of the ionizing radiations, and sometimes damaged by the relatively light dosage of the radiations will also observed. Hence there is only a less usage of this preservation technique in the case of egg. These are the different preservation techniques. Then coming to the different spoilage of the egg. First is the defects we are seeing in the fresh egg. Fresh egg. Fresh eggs may exhibit cracks, leaks, loss of blooms or glows, or will be stained, or someday there will be dirty spots on the exterior, and the meat spots or the blood clots are also seen, and someday there will be general bloodiness or translucent spots in the yolk, and any break in the shell or the dirt on the egg will favor the spoilage during the storage time. Next is the changes in egg during the storage time. The changes that takes place in the egg while they are being held or stored can be divided into those changes which are caused by the non-microbial causes and those which are resulting from the growth of microorganisms. So the changes or the spoilage occurring during the storage can be divided into those which are caused by the non-microbial cause and those which are caused by the microorganisms. Now we will see the changes not caused by the microorganisms. Loss moisture during the storage, and hence there will be chance of loss of weight of the egg. Hence there is chance of loss of moisture in the egg during the storage, which will lead to the loss of weight. And sometimes there will be shrinkage, which is shown by the size of the space due to the change in the airspace size. There will be shrinkage in the size of the egg, and also as the egg ages, the egg white will usually become thinner and more watery. And the poorer the egg, the more will be the movement of the egg. Normal pH of the egg is between 7.6 to 9.5, and the storage will increase the alkalinity of the egg white. These are the changes which occur in egg during the storage, which are not caused by the microorganism. That is like the loss of moisture, shrinkage in size, the egg white becomes thinner, watery, and also sometimes there will be high movement of the yolk, and there will be change in the pH of the egg, etc. Next, you will see about the changes which are caused by the microorganisms. First one is the contamination of the shell, penetration of the pores of the shell to the membrane, growth on the shell membrane, growth on egg white and egg yolk. So, the coming to the contamination by the microorganisms, it can cause either on the, it can occur on the shell or in the membranes or in the egg white or in the egg yolk. Everywhere there is chance of microbial contamination, and the time taken to penetrate will vary with the organs and also the temperature, and most spoilage is caused by the bacteria compared to the mold, and the type of the bacterial spoilage or the rods of the eggs are of a different types. So there are different types of rods or spoilage caused by the different species of bacteria in egg. First, we will say that different types of the bacterial rot. First one is the green rot. This caused by the Pseudomonas fluorescens, and the rot is so named because of the bright green color of the egg white during the early stages of the development. So the causative organs or the pathogen of green rot of egg is the Pseudomonas fluorescens, and it is the symptom is the bright green color of the egg white. And the in the later stages of the infection, the yolk may start to disintegrate and blend with the white so as to mask the green color, and there is odor is lacking or is a fruity or sweetish odor, and the content of the egg will so rotted fluoresce strongly under the ultraviolet light. The first type of rot caused by bacteria is the green rot caused by Pseudomonas fluorescens. Symptom bright green color, egg white in the early stage. Later the yolk may disintegrate and start to blend with the white, and there is a lacking odor or sometimes fruity or sweetish odor. Second one is a colorless rot. causative organism is Pseudomonas, Acinetobacter, alkali genes, etc. And here the yolk usually is involved except in very early stages, and later they will disintegrate or at least show a white incrustation, and the odor varies from a scarcely detectable one to some fruity to highly offensive odor. The third one is the black rot. It is mainly caused by species of Proteus, and also some species of Pseudomonas and Aeromonas are also causative organism of the black rot of egg. And here the yolk will become blackened, and then they will start to break down to give the whole egg content a muddy brown color. And here the odor is putrid with hydrogen sulfide evident, and also there is a gas pressure development in the egg. So the third type is the black rod, Proteus, Pseudomonas and Aeromonas are the causative organism. Here the egg yolk will become blackened, and then they will break down to give the all egg contents muddy brown color, and the odor is putrid with hydrogen sulfide evident, and there will be evidence of gas formation. And the fourth one is the pink rot. Opposite organism is Pseudomonas. May at times may be a later stage of some of the green rot. So the pink rot may be sometimes the latest stage of the green rot caused by the Pseudomonas fluorescens, and they will resemble the colorless rot except for a pinkish precipitate on the yolk and pink color in the white. So here in the egg yolk and white is characterized by the pink color formation, and the causative organism is a Pseudomonas. Sometimes it is the later stage of the green rot caused by the Pseudomonas fluorescens. And the next type is the red rot, and here it is mainly caused by the Serratia. Here there will be mild in odor and are not offensive. The next one is a pin spot molding, and very early mold growth is termed as a pin spot molding because of the small compact colonies of the mold appearing on the shell, and they will usually just seen inside it. So now we will see about the different diseases or the spoilage caused by the molding. The first is the pin spot molding. At the very early mold growth, it is known as the pin spot molding because they are characterized by the small compact colonies of the mold, and the color of this pin spot will vary with the kind of the mold. And first penicilli species will go yellow or blue color spot, and the cladosporium will give dark green or black colored spot, and a sporotrichum will produce a pink spot. And the pin spot molding is mainly caused by different types of the fungus, and based on the types of fungus, the color of the spot will also vary. In the case of penicilli, it will be blue or green color spot. Cladospora, it will green or black spot. Sporotrichum, it will be pink spot. Next is a superficial fungus spoilage, and first in the form of a fuzz or whiskers, then later covering the shell, and later as a more luxuriant growth. So sometimes there will be superficial fungus spoilage on the egg, and when the eggs are stored at near freezing temperature, the temperatures are high enough for the slow mycelial growth of some molds, but too low for their sporulation, while other molds may also produce some asexual spores, and the mold causing spoilage of the egg include Penicillium, Cladospores, Sporotrichum, Mucor, etc. And the next is a fungal rotting. The final stage of the spoilage of the egg by mold is the fungal rotting. After the mycelium of the mold has grown through the pores or the cracks in the egg, and the gelling of the white may result, and also some colored spots may be produced. Example, the fungal red spot by the sporotrichum, black color by the cladosporium, and also the course of black spot of the eggs as well as of other food. And the hyphae of the mold may weaken the egg yolk membrane enough to cause its rupture, after which the growth of the mold is stimulated greatly by the food which are released from the yolk. And also off flowers sometimes are developed in the egg with a little outward evidence of the spoilage, or sometimes off flavors will be developed, but there will be only little outward evidence of the spoilage of the egg. Muchness will be caused by Achromobacter, Pseudomonas, etc. And also the growth of streptomyces on the straw or elsewhere near the egg will also produce some musty or earthy flowers that are absorbed by the egg. And also mold growing in the shell will also give some musty odors and taste. And hay odor is mainly caused by the Enterobacter cloacae, and also fishy flavors of the egg are produced by some species of the Escherichia coli.